Hello there, how are you? Welcome back to How I Did It. Today I'm going to be changing out a kitchen faucet and repairing all the water damage in the cabinet. So I'm going to be pulling this floor out and putting a new plywood floor in. Alrighty then, let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is turn off the water, obviously, duh. And you know, these new faucets that they have out now, they even include the new water braided line. Now the faucet I purchased at Home Depot was on sale for 49 bucks. I could not believe it. Fits like a charm. The only thing that I did not remember to purchase was the little accessory hole cover, and you'll see it here when we get up to the top. Pretty straightforward. I do have a wrench to get up in there to make it easy to pull these nuts and things off, but the channel locks work just as well. And that's pretty cool, that old school quick disconnect and quick connect. It just pops right on. I did make way too many trips going down underneath the cabinet, coming back up. I should have just done everything down below all at one time and then went up to the top to do the work. And that little hole there on the right is the one that I forgot to pick the cap up for it. I kind of thought it might be in the faucet itself, but what can you expect for 49 bucks, right? Now here's the beauty of these new faucets. The faucet plate no longer needs a plumber's putty. It actually comes with a little rubber gasket under it to seal it up, as you'll see here in just a second. Yeah, I was doing this without my tripod, obviously, so the quality and the steadiness is something to be desired, but that's that gasket they put on there, so no more need for the plumber's putty. Now one little trick here. Don't try to stuff all three of these hoses, technically there's four, into that hole all at one time. One at a time, that way you have room to get the next one in there. And then there is the last one. And what's nice about that is that's the quick connect, like on the other faucet where it just snaps on, and that will feed the little faucet head right here. The other thing that's pretty cool about this is with this single handle lever, you can put it to the left, the center, or to the right. It doesn't matter. And this was absolutely ingenious. So if you pull down on the hoses to kind of hold it in place, you push this thing up, you'll hear it click, and then you just tighten it down by hand and it is solid. The other thing that's pretty neat, they actually marked the hot water line. Now it's just a matter of reassembling the faucet and calling it good. That portion of the project will be done. And then it will be time for a little break. Well, sort of. I still have to put the weight on the hose there. Again, just a real quick snap connection. And now it's ready for water up at the head. Even the weight that they put on these faucets. The new weight is different. So you just snap this little plastic, let's call it a weight retainer, onto the hose at the mark, and then the weight just slides over the top of it. So in the past you had 2 Phillips screws that you had to tighten down, or 2 Allen screws you had to tighten down. It's just way easier. Just totally amazing. Absolutely totally amazing. Now I did have to turn the camera off so I could get my hands up in there to pinch it in the final place, but as you see, it just pushes up in there. I was pleasantly surprised at how easy this faucet was to install. Alright, now turn the water back on and check out the flow. Oh, I was just making sure everything was dry down there after I turned it on. That way I wouldn't have a valve or something that I needed to replace. Everything looked really good though. Now it's that simple. Why pay hundreds of dollars for a plumber to come in and do what you can actually do yourself? Now remember guys, worst case scenario is you have to hire somebody. Now we're going to take a short intermission and go feed the puppies and let them out to go potty and whatnot, and then we're going to come back and tackle the wood down at the bottom. Now these puppies are absolutely loving their little pool, and they are loving rolling in the dirt after they played in the pool. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about opening that gate up over there for them. So of course here they're in their pool, they're getting their little drink. They're going to run down to the end, and there's an open area that they've just trampled down all the grass. As you can see, they turn into little mud monsters. But I had to make my little break worth their while because they ended up getting locked back up so I could go back over and finish up the plywood bottom. Now here's just a quick wash in the big pool, and then I put them in with Stella. They ended up laying down and taking a pretty good nap. The other thing I've learned is that playpen around them, yeah, you don't leave them without locking that in place, because when you come back, they will have that pushed out of place and they will be running all through the house. Alright, so we're back over here. I'm going to pull this particle board out of the bottom. It was so rotted, so for redundancy, I did not film me pulling this out. Once I busted a hole in the bottom, I was able to push it all down and then work all the nails and stuff out of the framework itself. And then to make things easier, I did end up removing the P-trap and part of the plumbing on the sink. It's pretty straightforward. 2 screws hold the adapter onto that tail that goes out, the drain tail, whatever they call it. This is after everything was busted out and cleaned up. A little bit of water damage down on the particle board, that the frame that holds the cabinet up, but it wasn't anything devastating. Fortunately, it still had some pretty good bones about it. So I bought 1/2-inch plywood. I put a center support across there, and then I measured my length by my width, cut that rectangle out, and I added 1/8 of an inch on either side, so it not all the way to the recessed opening, and then I did a bevel cut at 30 degrees right down the center. Now to get these in here, I had to kind of flex them pretty good and then hammer it down. And again, I had to turn the camera off because I didn't have my tripod. But as you'll see with this one here, having that 1/8 of an inch on either side to fit in the potato, it made for a tight fit to get it down in there, but once it was in there, it locked it in on the left and the right sides. The 30-degree bevel cut locked it in down the center, and there was actually another dado on the front that I was able to pull it forward to. So it has solid support all the way around, as well as that piece of plywood that I put down the center. And as you can see, it's pretty flat. It's pretty nice. Now it's just a matter of cleaning things up, going ahead and getting the plumbing reassembled. You know, all the kind of tedious finishing up type chores. But overall, it was pretty easy. I mean, I cannot complain. It could have been worse. I could have had more hiccups. But I am grateful to say that this is the third plumbing issue that I have had this week. No, I did not film the other two. I have no clue where my head was at filming this week. I think it was stuck on puppy duty. But got things reassembled. Had 3 hiccups. They say it comes in 3s, so now all 3s are done. Double checking down below. No leaks. Life is great. Alrighty then. I want to thank y'all for stopping by. Have an absolutely wonderful and blessed day. I will see you next time on How I Did It.